Hey, welcome back, guys. Tariq got a new plug, Kane got a new position, and Drew and Diana got a new reason to run for their very lives going into episode 4 and beyond. I'm here to break it all down in typical top 10 WTF fashion. Before we begin, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and bell notification to immediately receive these videos. Also, big thank you to all of my channel donors. If you'd like to be the next one, drop $1 on that Cash App for us. And lastly, a spoiler alert is now in effect for all things power. Here we go. WTF moment number 10, Dead to Rights. Obi is held overnight at the precinct, where he is further questioned by Detective Carter about the green cards, their connection to now Congressman Tate, who blackmailed his way into Washington with Tariq's help, and most importantly, Tariq's connection to the both of them. Then, Carter claims to have photogenic evidence of Obi with Tariq, proving their association against Obi's claims. Although Noma's now former right hand holds strong during the interrogation, it sets in motion a clear pathway to his demise. WTF moment number 9, a brick late and $1 short. Using Davis as the conduit to the potential new connect, Tariq and Brayden travel with them to a compound that also serves as a fight club. While there, they meet their latest psychopathic personality by the name of Zion, who's as no-nonsense as they come. He creepily informs Tariq that all his product has sellers, and that he's short on the minimum to work with him anyway, being 50 bands short of the 3 bricks required to fulfill Z's quota. Interestingly enough, the drug lord only took the meeting due to the legend of Tariq's last name, an equally goated father. You'll notice that when Zion says, quote, "My men know better than to pull up lacking just like you did, thought you would too, given who your father was," Tariq sharply responds with, quote, "Respectfully, you don't know who my father was," as if to say, Ghost may not have been lacking out here with y'all, but I eventually caught him lacking. And thus, I'm more worthy of respect because I got the better of him. It's unsaid, yet suggested here by Tariq's demeanor and candor. Zion also compares Tariq's current white partner to Ghost's previous one, asking Brayden, quote, "Are you as crazy as Tommy?" To this point in the story, the answer is not quite. However, given the drug choice that Brayden chose to engage in later in the episode, he could very well be on his way to crazy levels unknown. Because after all, that same drug is what fueled Tommy's already clear and present crazy. WTF moment number 8, Lyanna. Diana is questioned by Monet about Tariq's knowledge of Kate Egan and Mo's role in giving her Tasha's address. Visibly shaken by the impromptu interrogation, Diana says he never mentioned Kate Egan, fidgeting her right hand while lying through her white teeth. We are then presented with a startling flashback depicting how Monet ran her household in Lorenzo's absence, something we now know Renzo was staunchly against. A young Drew and Anna are made to help their mother cut down product before engaging in regular childlike activities. Once finished, Monet has that one discussion that all black parents eventually have with their children: do not discuss family business outside of this home. Diana, even as a young child, similarly fidgets during her mother's instructions, displaying a weakness and breaking point that Monet's words were intended to buffer. Outside of the context this scene provided for Diana's current depictions, it also lent credence to Lorenzo's ghost during Monet's Purgatory episode, who stated that it was Monet who truly expanded the business in her own right once Renzo caught that case and was removed from the family, and that Monet conveniently placed that expansion on his shoulders in order to alleviate the guilt riding her own. WTF moment number 7, Blades of Focus. Obi finally returns to Noma and lies about his previous whereabouts under the guise of being apprehended by ICE. Noma questions Drew about the validity of the alibi, and he confirms it, only to betray Obi on the back end by exposing the green card angle and Noma's doomed right hand's connection to them through Tariq. As Noma begins to put the pieces to Obi's underlying deceptions together, the latter justifies his actions in keeping Tariq alive and stresses his usefulness. Finally, after adding the measures he's taken in shielding Noma from outside threats via intense focus, Noma shockingly puts a blade through Obi's neck and thanks him for his services in the immediate aftermath of being cast as a devil by the fallen lieutenant. This moment was absolutely crazy and made way for a new number 2, the one not named Drew, because what the fuck was he thinking? WTF moment number 6, Law 21. In the 48 Laws of Power, Law 21 stresses the importance of playing a sucker to catch a sucker, seeming dumber than your mark. In doing this, you magnify your victim's need to feel smart, while keeping your ulterior motives hidden. Tariq implements this law to a T in order to get back into the game undetected. He approaches Effie after class, someone who he's previously sworn off from forgiving due to her past transgressions against him. Almost innocently, he inquires about a new drug and symbol circulating around campus, wondering if it traces back to her. Effie's surprised by the unfamiliar logo and slightly suspicious of Reed's concern in the matter. Nevertheless, she accepts his quote-unquote help on face value and informs Noma and Kane to the unknown distributors. This was just phase 1 of Tariq's greater scheme to re-emerge like a phoenix from the ashes, an undetected phoenix if there ever was such a phenomenon. WTF moment number 5, Fire and Desire. Following Obi's extermination, Kane questions Noma about keeping Monet out of the business. Noma speaks on his relationship with his mother condescendingly, sparking further rebuttals of boldness from Kane. Having heard enough from her groomed second-in-command-to-be, she attempts to slap him like her previous helper, only to be surprised and simultaneously aroused by his refusal to be diminished in such a fashion. This moment was deeper than it seemed on the surface, and it's something I'll be explaining in much more detail in a video to come. WTF moment number 4, Explosive. After Effie's warning of a potential new competitor on their territory, Kane seeks out the shipment for Roman, whose drug marketing symbol linked his identity for Kane. Upon finding the product-filled van, Kane has his henchmen vandalize the vehicle, essentially destroying the product and thus the simmering competition. Explosively, might I add. This was all a part of Tariq's grand plan, as he needed a foothold back into the game, and Roman was literally standing between him and his birthright. In addition to the money lapse, Rick needed a personnel opening, and with the fall of Roman's van and subsequently Zion's trust in him, he just got it. WTF moment number 3, 300K run. Following the explosion of his van, Roman is visited by Tate and Carter, who are forced into a chase down of the doomed street hustler after the plates are traced back to him. He confirms via phone that the loss amounts to 300K, leaving an opening for Tariq and Brayden to get back into the game following Davis's confirmation text that Zion was back on board. Roman, on the unfortunate other hand, is hauled in for questioning about the torched drug shipment. Although he doesn't know Tariq, he has seen his face, and once he's released back to the streets and learns that the Junior St. Patrick has taken his spot in Zion's organization, he just may be used as a mole or snitch by Carter. That is, assuming Zion lets the game last that long. WTF moment number 2, crack commandment number 4. I know you heard this one before. Never get high on your own supply. This prophetic crack commandment by the late great Biggie Smalls was completely disregarded in the name of desire by Brayden. As he pursues Elle towards the end of her rehearsal with her music group, he shares his lowly emotional state with Elle, only to receive the ultimate pick-me-up in exchange, the undefeated white girl herself. This is what the season description must have meant when referring to Brayden's reckless new lifestyle, posing a threat to him and Tariq's business interests, and is a direct parallel to his power forefather, Tommy Egan, who broke Biggie's 4th crack commandment as much as Moses' 10. And WTF moment number 1, Tejada family fallout. Take 3. Monet conducts yet another Tejada family dinner, this time to extend an opportunity for her children to come and partner with her, having finally come to her wits' end with Noma and the control she's implemented to keep Monet distant from the business. Diana is the only one that agrees to Monet's offer, as Kane and Drew are already comfortable in their roles with Noma. But surprisingly, this is where yet another chaotic dinner fiasco ensues. Monet receives the footage from Kate Egan's Ring camera via Pinky, who simultaneously sends the footage to Tariq following a meeting with the two of them in the initial phases of the episode. Monet is livid upon learning that it is Diana who delivered Tasha's whereabouts to Kate and attempts to yank her up for the infraction and its implications, finally understanding that she's been set up. However, Drew quickly comes to the aid of his sister and ushers her out of the home to an immediate getaway, implicating himself in the caper as well. A perplexed yet heated Kane follows after his treacherous siblings, but cannot bring himself to deliver that much-deserved bullet. Then, we get that season-long tease cry for help, tragedy, and sanity by Monet J. Blige, which has been hilariously paralleled to the iconic singer's other beltings in times past. Now that Monet knows she was set up by her own children, it's only a matter of time before she completes the mystery to her assassination puzzle. Crazy times ahead for all violators to the Tejada crown. Some lingering thoughts before we end today's video. It was a wise move for Tariq to flip his beloved car. Not only was the capital necessary in order to regain a foothold in the drug game, but it also deters 2-Bit from his trail in the immediate future. He'll surely be catching up to him, but by such a time, Tariq will have greater bargaining chips. Effie and Kane's relationship took some major strides to start prior to the fall-off and eventual replacement of intimacy with self-interest. The two were in a state of bliss in their first appearance this episode, and you could see it in Effie's eyes. She just may have been falling for Kane prior to his decisions to prioritize his own future as much as Effie was securing hers. Remember, Effie's long game isn't in the streets, but science by way of robotics. Kane belongs in the streets, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. As he grew closer in importance to Noma and simultaneously more suspicious of Effie's true intentions and selfish leanings, then there was only one destination for their brief relationship to arrive to, and that was to a place called Nowhere Fast. But hey, I guess it was cool while it lasted. When it rains, it pours for Davis McLean. So far, he's lost his license, clientele, his yet-to-appear yet often mentioned off-screen wife, and seemingly his mind. What he hasn't lost yet, however, is his resolve. And between that and his practice, it's the only thing keeping him from fully crashing out. While we're on Davis, his backdoor play seems like yet another display of the beleaguered lawyer playing both sides on the surface. But it's actually beneficial to Tariq as opposed to detrimental. It may have even been sent by Tariq himself. Remember, during their second product run to Zion, the two of them discussed their reasons for re-entering the game, Noma's ignorance to their operation being paramount among the many justifications. The police had already taken Obi in for questioning, and even more crucially, connected the fallen lieutenant to Tariq through Congressman Tate. Though the evidence was weak, and those pictures definitely fabricated, Carter and his unit had enough to make waves once constructing the rest of the puzzle, and were on the brink of doing so prior to Obi's inevitable demise. That death evades their knowledge at this time, and before they're able to allow their imaginations to run wild in the negative, Davis puts a failsafe in place with Noma regarding Obi's disappearance, something he rightfully assumed was fatal due to his associate lawyer, and lover might I add, being unable to reach him. This plan serves as an alibi for Obi's unreachable status, keeping law enforcement at bay. Noma none the wiser to an emerging regime, and most importantly to Davis, his pockets full on both sides of the illegal coin, as he charges Noma a fee for such protections. That latter statement is where Tariq comes in, as he states towards the end of that exchange, quote, "Right now, what I'm worried about is making sure Noma doesn't find out what we have going on. I think you can be a big help in that, and get paid while you at it." Noma sending Kane and Drew two different texts indicates that she sees them in two different roles for her organization. She instructs Drew to go to Obi's apartment and investigate after being unable to reach him, but then tells Kane that he'll be handling Obi's responsibilities in his absence and to come to her office. In the case of Drew, he's just another mere soldier in her eyes. Kane's potential, on the other hand, is sky high, as he can satisfy a multitude of needs for a woman like Noma. Her view of the two brothers contrasts with that of Lorenzo's, who saw Drew as the better leader, and the residue from his ambitions is only going to lead to greater discord between the once tight-knit brothers, especially considering the final revelation/betrayal. And lastly, Diana will most likely be the one to expose her clandestine pregnancy to Tariq, but Bruchandria didn't find out Dee's situation for nothing. I wonder if she's a factor in letting Diana's business slip as well. If not Tariq, then maybe to Salim Shea Butter Assalamu Alaikum. Remember, Brew was leaving Diana's room the night Tariq would inevitably crack for the final time. And who does she and her friends run into? You guessed it, the Holy Hotep himself. So just something to keep in mind. We'll be finding out next episode, hopefully, either way. But that'll do it for this one. What were your thoughts on Power Ghost episode 403? Be sure to drop me your opinions in the comments below. As always, I thank you for watching today's video. If you liked today's video, go ahead and drop $1 on that Cash App for us. Hit the like button, share it with your friends who are Power fans, and subscribe for more content such as this. This is Rudy P. Magic of Rudy P. Magic Beats, and have a blessed one until the next one. Peace, y'all.